Oh my God. Guess what time it is? It's time for another episode of
We Everywhere, baby.
I'm your host, Nadine.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Don't break the character.
I was done with it. And sitting next to me on this comfortable couch is Omar, Marvelous himself.
Bing bong.
Not Bing Bong.
Hey, how you was doing?
When you see my dogs in the front, what does it say? When you see my dogs outside.
Bing bong.
You know I'm going hard. Some shit
stupid.
like that.
Oh,
what a viral
goodness.
sensation. What's up, guys? We are back. We're a little late, but you know what? You know how it goes. You know. We're on that Mexican time.
I was just gonna say that we were too busy celebrating Chinese New Year, and you gave it away.
Were we?
That's what I was gonna pretend.
Honestly, the real reason is because I wanted to watch Pam and Tommy, and I wanted to talk about it, and it didn't come out till Wednesday. So here we are, late Wednesday night, and it's just not going to be ready. So, so we
go.
like to pull the curtain back and let you see.
Get off our fucking backs.
Oh my god. Anywho, we are back in action. It is another week. Another week has gone by. We are in February.
And
already
we are in a new lunar year.
All right.
Straight up. Did you know that?
I mean, I've been seeing things.
Lunar year. So it's now Year of the Tiger.
Right. What does that mean?
It means that
you know nothing about this.
Represented by the tiger.
You didn't get any backup information. You're just like, I don't know. It's the tiger. What do you want from me? It's fierce. It's going to be a fierce year for all of us.
It's going to be the fiercest year.
Fiercest year of your life, 2022. Wow.
That's your tiger noise?
Is that better?
I like it.
We're all going to be on top, guys. We have to.
Oh, my goodness.
Birthday shout out real quick before we get into anything. Today is my brother's birthday. Well, by the time you hear this, it won't be today, but you know. He's an Aquarian and it is his birthday, and everyone wish my brother a happy birthday. His IG is Armani with lots of Y's.
Oh my God.
What is his IG anyways?
I think it's ARMONEY. Like R money.
I thought it was lots of Y's.
Maybe there's a bunch of Y's. But...
Yeah, there's 3 Y's.
Okay.
AR and then money with 3 Y's. It's his birthday. And I love him very much.
So everybody go DM Nadia's brother.
Yeah. Nadia said to do this. I know I don't know you, but yeah. What else?
Well,
this weekend.
Yeah, we're happy to say that we're sticking to the hike situation where we go hike every weekend.
Yes.
Which is big things for me because I think it's boring.
Oh my God. There's no part of you that enjoys it at all?
Well, no. See, the thing is, not no. The thing is that
you don't like physical activity.
No. I'm very, like, I don't want to say I'm easily entertained. I'm never, like, unhappy places.
You're a simple man.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's it. I'm Simple Jack.
Simple kind of guy.
It's just like once I'm out there or once I'm anywhere, I have the ability to not have a bad time.
Yeah, you make the best of every situation.
I always make the best of it. So,
yeah.
So it's not a big deal. But it's like when we were talking, I was like, when you say, come on, let's go, it's essentially that wanting to get up and leave that I have an issue with. That's the real struggle, as it should be for anyone, right? It's the motivation of like, okay, I'm going to go do that. Whether it's going to be go to the gym, whether it's going to be go to work, whatever. it's like, oh man, am I really gonna stand up right now and go do this
Dang.
shit that I don't want to do?
You know, it gets
given
better.
The choice. Well, no, I mean, I'm not. When we're done with the hike, I'm not like, what a horrible.
You never
waste of my
regret
life.
it.
No.
Yeah.
Like I said, even if it was like, hey, let's go do something more active, whatever you want to say, like, let's go do a Spartan race or some shit. I'd be
You
like,
would do that?
yeah, I would do it. I wouldn't want to do it.
I would love to see
And when
that.
we got up that morning and you'd be like, come on, let's go to the Spartan race. I'd be like, fuck this Spartan race. But once we get there, I'm like, but you let's jump in this mud. Whatever.
You usually have to pay for those to sign up. So that would be your motivating, your driving force is that you paid for it. You wouldn't want to waste that money.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to pay for that.
You already lost me.
If you would like to sponsor, we everywhere, baby, have a Spartan race.
There's a Tough Mudder coming up, and my gym has signups for it, but it's like $150 a person, and I'm like, I just don't want to drop that right now on that. Yeah. Like, I just don't have any,
Yeah, if you want,
it's been a slow winter.
We can go to my mom's backyard. Yeah. I'll wet the dirt, and you can just get as muddy as you want for free.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is that you suffer from a form of laziness.
I've got chronic
laziness. Do you suffer from chronic laziness?
But I will say that the way that we're doing this hiking situation, I can really get on board, because it's now been 2 weeks.
Okay.
And every week we go do a hike, and then immediately we go have pastries.
Damn it. We really got to change
Last
that
week
part.
It was like, let's go bust this hike. Now let's go to Mochi Nut.
Yeah.
This week it was like, let's go bust this hike. Now let's go to 85 Degrees Bakery. I was like, I could really fuck with this workout plan.
It's terrible. Yeah, so we went to Sunday. We went to Century City Mall. We needed to we just did a little shopping. Hit up Zara. It's all our whole wardrobes are Zara. Yeah, we did a little shopping and then made some healthy lunch choices at Tender Greens. And then I was like, I need something sweet. And I was like, damn it. If I could just stop doing that, that'd be great. And then they had a mochi nut actually at Century City Mall. Mm-hmm. And we were like, we just had this. Let's try something different. Not new, because we've both had 85 Degrees before, but it's an Asian bakery. Is it Japanese?
No, it's Taiwanese.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's where it originated, in Taipei.
Got it.
But they have just the most amazing soft.
Oh my God. How do they get it like that? If you've never been
to one and there's one around you, definitely go check it out.
They're like pillows.
Yeah, it's just the
softest bread I've ever had in my life.
Like I had a chocolate bun that was just so good because it had cream in the middle. Oh,
and that chocolate cream was delicious. Mm-hmm. And then I just grabbed something that looked good, but I didn't know what it was because there were no labels and it just had jalapenos on it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get this because I'm just going to guess.
It looked like a tart.
Yeah.
It looked like a pizza tart.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I thought you were buying.
Like cheese and jalapeno.
Yeah.
And then I go to buy it and I'm like, so what is this, to the girl? And she's like, oh, that's like a fake meat pie.
She did say that. She's like, oh, that's fake meat.
That's fake meat. I was like, oh, when you say it like that. And it was delicious.
And then you ask her, you're like, well, is it any good? And she's like, I don't know. I'm not trying that.
Yeah.
It's fake meat.
It was so good. Speaking of that, I'm really trying to get, Omar and I are trying to get on eating less red meat and pork and just meat in general. Just basically animal products. We're not going vegan or anything. I just think that it's good to mix it up. And I think him and I do this, we kind of eat bad or whatever, have our cheat meals on the weekends.
Eat bad.
And then we eat healthy during the week and we work out. And I work out. Omar does one hike a week.
Baby steps.
Even though he's a state-of-the-art gym they just built at his office. Isn't it free?
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to like work out in front of your coworkers and stuff, like, I don't know. That's not my jam. Something about that.
Do people use it?
Yeah. Yeah. People do use it.
Something about that rubs you the wrong way. You don't want to see them. You don't want them to see you sweat and run and grunt.
No, I mean, it's just.
Or you don't want them to see you in shorts, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. I was like, oh no.
In gym shorts.
They're going to see my legs.
Omar wears jeans every day of his life.
No, to be honest, here's the deal. I work. I'm there for the allotted time that I'm supposed to be there. And it's not in me to get up early enough to make it to work.
Right.
With enough time to work out before work. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No,
it's
hard.
I know it's not going to happen. And then it's like, well, I don't want to stay after work.
But you're not staying at work. You need to it's all mental. You have to wipe that away.
It's in the same building, yo. Like the point is
all I'm hearing are excuses.
Well, I'm not saying they're not excuses. I'm just giving you what the excuses are. You're asking me what they are. You didn't ask me if I felt bad about them, and the answer is no. I'm just like, yo, my time is up. I'm out of here. And as far as like working out in the middle,
that's gonna be your life.
Like, oh, I'm gonna work out. Yeah,
time's up, Omar. You didn't move your body. You're out of here.
I'll work out when I retire.
Come on. Your body's like, time's up, man. We can't do this anymore.
But also, I feel like with this podcast, I've started something that I can't abandon, which is the hot chicken search. People keep sending us hot chicken spots.
That has nothing to do with working out.
There's no. Well, I'm just saying, like,
more excuses.
I want to make sure to get that. I don't want to shrink my stomach and then I can't, enjoy tasty hot chicken.
Wow. Do you even believe the bullshit coming out of your mouth? Do you even believe it? I managed to do both.
Well,
it's all a balance in life. But I do got to say though, this going over the 35 hump, now that I'm 36, things don't move the way they used to move. They don't come off the way they used to come off. Yeah.
Like age is catching up to you. I told you.
It just doesn't, you can't, the weight, it's like twice as hard to get it to move. It's rough.
Right.
It's just not the same.
I mean, or we could stop going to bakeries.
Well, of course. But I'm just saying before 35, I could
go to as many
bakeries and work
I'd be on the treadmill eating a fucking muffin.
And I'd be fine. But now I got to stop going to bakeries? What the hell? I don't like this arrangement. Yeah, it's all a balance. I think, it's just, we got to keep it to the weekends. And
well, here's the thing. Talking about chicken. Do you know that Arby's just released?
Oh, God.
Or is releasing. I think it's already out.
We should not be eating Arby's.
It's called. We never eat at Arby's, but this is a chicken.
We did
sandwich.
A few years ago.
It's called the Diablo Dare.
Okay.
And the Diablo Dare is a sandwich that's supposed to be so spicy.
Okay.
That when you buy it, it comes with a vanilla shake.
When you bite it.
When you buy it.
Oh.
What? How does that even make sense?
Exactly. That's what's confused.
Why was that a question?
Every time you bite it, a vanilla shake pops up.
It's filled with shake.
That's gross.
Ridiculous.
Okay. Every time you buy, it just comes with it.
Yeah, it's like it's included in the price of the sandwich. So it's like, hey, the sandwich is that spicy that you're gonna need this vanilla.
You're gonna need this dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I think we might have to.
What a terrible thing for your gut. Let's just engulf it in flames and then douse it in dairy.
They're daring you. It's in the name. It's called the Diablo Dare.
It's really terrible.
It's gonna be
a whole sandwich too. It's not like this little chip challenge. Like, have you seen that?
No, it's like
the chip. No, that is so bad. America, why? Why, America? Why do you do this to us?
I'm just saying.
That's terrible. I'm not. Are you going to do it? Would you do it?
I might have to try it.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't try it? Like we could split one.
No.
Why not? I thought you were on a spice journey.
That is spice suicide. That ends my journey right there. That's just no. No. I have no desire to do that. I prove nothing to no one, not to myself. What am I going to feel good after? Oh, I did that. Look at me.
Depends on how good the shake is.
I conquered the dare sandwich. I'm a bona fide badass. Like,
fuck you, Arby's.
Come on.
You couldn't take me down.
God. We need better challenges in this world. No, I'm not doing that. Sorry. If anyone does that, though, let us know. We will share your story on our show.
We Everywhere Babies, not sponsored by Arby's. Hashtag not sponsored.
Oh, man. But yeah, then we went and we hiked, and that was pretty much it. We had a pretty chill weekend.
Yeah.
But we did watch a bunch of stuff, things that have been much anticipated.
Yeah.
The Janet Jackson documentary came out.
Well, wait, but do you want to get into all that right now?
Oh, should we give them what we promised with the Chippendales? every week we're like, next it's like Jimmy Kimmel's like, sorry, we didn't have time for Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. No, well, I was finding some stuff online that I wanted to show you.
Okay.
Do you know have you heard about this guy, Jonathan Cahill?
No, who's that?
He's the new hot burglar.
Oh,
you know how every couple of years somebody will get arrested?
Yeah.
And their mugshot will be,
like that one guy with the blue eyes. What was his name?
His name? No, he's in the same list right here.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy Meeks. This guy.
He turned into a model.
He got
his wife.
A whole career out of it. Got himself a whole divorce and everything. And
he's dating models.
Now there's a guy out of the UK named Jonathan Cahill.
I mean, that is not a bad looking guy. I will say. Strong jaw, dimples, brooding eyebrows.
So this is out of the UK, but I wonder if this guy will be able to roll that into something as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
We'll see.
Like that last
Wait,
guy?
what did he do? He burglarized or what?
Yeah,
what was his crime?
They're just calling him the hot burglar.
What does it say by thirsty women?
Wanted by cops and thirsty women. That is a TMZ headline right there. Hot burglar wanted by cops and thirsty women.
Only the thirsty. That's hilarious.
Well, because they put out the police department. One of the police departments in West Yorkshire in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Essie.
Mm-hmm.
She already knows.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm on his Twitter page right now.
Mm-hmm.
They just basically put out a bulletin like, hey, we're looking for this guy. He's supposed to report to court or prison or I don't fucking know.
Have you seen this hot guy?
Have you seen this guy? But apparently everybody's losing their mind over it. And it literally made me remember that other guy.
Yeah. Jeremy Meeks. I remember that.
And that's
everyone went crazy over him.
It's so weird.
Perfect transition into hot guys. Chippendales documentary. Hot Guys is up for debate though, because this was like in the 80s. It was a different look then.
Yeah, definitely. So this is something that we found on Discovery Plus. And it was like, okay, let's see what this is about. Now, I happen to work very close to where the original Chippendales location was, and it's, I don't even know what it is now, like an adult daycare center, but like they show it in the documentary. But it basically chronicles the start or the idea of the Chippendales male dancers. Mm-hmm. And how they were like, hey, why don't we just do this? And how it blew up. And then you're like, okay, this is a pretty standard documentary. But then all of a sudden, it falls into like murder and all of these crazy, arguments and stuff between the original owner and then the guy who came in and basically made it a show. Because at first it was just guys kind of dancing and grinding on women, and the women were grabbing them, and it was just like all out.
There was no
mayhem.
routine.
No.
It wasn't polished.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they very quickly got like super popular, and it was packed.
Yeah.
And eventually they got raided by the cops. And they're like, you guys are literally breaking the law here.
Really?
Yeah. It had something to do with the fact that
I watched it with you and I don't remember.
Yeah, it had something to do with the fact that, like, you're not allowed to touch the entertainers.
Oh.
Right? Just kind of like if you go to any strip club, you're not allowed to touch the dancers unless they take you to the back for like the lap dance. And even then, there's usually somebody who's watching to make sure your hands stay on the chair.
Oh.
I mean, everywhere is different and everybody gets away with something here and there and whatever, but
they got other appendages out. but my hands are on the
point
chair.
Is that they were kind of running this thing without any kind of rules or anything. And that's how it had to end up becoming a show. But it was a really, really good documentary. It's like, it's super crazy, especially at the end when all the murder and stuff starts happening, and then there's like an informant. And
it is a little long. It's a little long. Like they go into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Like it's a very detailed. I don't remember how many episodes it was, and the beginning is a little bit slow. And like Omar said, if you just stick to it, it does get pretty twisted and sick at the end, and you're just like, what is even happening? Like, yeah, it was pretty good.
But while we were watching it, I was thinking of like, okay, how men act with strippers versus how women act with strippers.
Right.
And then I know that my mother once got like a stripper for one of her sisters.
That's hilarious.
It was like, I'm assuming it was a bachelorette thing or whatever. And it was, my mom had told me, years later, she told me it was mayhem. Like,
it always seems like a good idea in theory. Like, yeah, let's get a stripper. Like, it'll be so fun. And then they show up and you're like, don't touch me. Don't get near me. Ah!
My mom said,
screaming and running away from
my
them.
mom said all of my tias were like running. Like they ran into the kitchen. They ran into the bedrooms. And this guy was like I think it was a cop scenario or whatever. Like he came to bust up he came here to bust up the party at mom's house. Hey, ladies.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she said it was crazy, but I don't know that if my mom ever went to a Chippendales thing or anything like that, or any of my aunts.
Yeah. My mom didn't. I know she didn't.
The only lady I know, like personally, that I know that went to the one in Vegas, like way, way, way later. Right? And she was like, I hated it. Because she was like, everybody was so much younger than me. All the guys were so much younger than me.
Yeah.
She's like, that it made me feel gross.
It's all how you look at it, Some women feel gross about that. Others, admire the beauty of a man.
Oh, Nadia is a huge admirer of the Chippendales.
No, not the Chippendales.
What were they?
What?
Your playing cards.
Oh!
Your naked guy playing cards. Acting like you didn't have.
So, back in when was this? 2006 or 7, something like that. Probably 2007. One of my best friends at the time was getting married, and I was her maid of honor, and I was throwing her bachelorette party. So I went online and bought all this like cheesy bachelorette party stuff. And one of the things that I bought were these like deck of playing cards that had pictures from like the 80s. These like pin-up pictures of dudes from the 80s, and their dicks were out. But like to me it was hilarious. I don't think they were trying to be hilarious.
Oh, like it was like from Playgirl type magazines.
Yes.
Like they're laying on their side.
Yes. It was like there was like a construction worker and like, but the setups and the outfits and the poses. Oh my God. It was freaking hilarious. And then they had like this one guy, he had like ripped jeans. He was like a bad boy. And like his dick was popping out of one of the holes in the jeans. It was like stuff like that. It was so funny. And I didn't tell him. I just like pulled him out. He was like, you guys want to play cards? And they were like, ew.
They're like, I've got the ace of dicks.
Yeah. I think I have those in my storage, I think. They're somewhere.
There's just a bunch of naked guys in your storage.
I gotta find it. They're really hilarious. I kind of don't ever want to get rid of them. They're hilarious. Like where I wonder if I can even find those anymore, like online. Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure there's not a shortage of like.
I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find
anything
it
on the internet that you can find and buy.
It was so good though. It was just because it was the 80s. The pictures were just epic. So good. Oh, and then sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, go.
And then, so speaking of Chippendales, I think when we were watching it, I remembered because we were talking about how you could go. I think they still do it. But in like the 2000s, it was really popular. They had a lot of kiosks, particularly in Vegas, where you could go and take your picture against a green screen. And then they would superimpose your face onto whatever image that you chose. Like you want to be a Vegas showgirl. You want to like whatever. And, my dad and Naz's dad, they both did it, and and it's a Chippendales one, and it's freaking hilarious.
With like the 80s hair?
Yeah, they got actually, no, I think they had their hair.
Oh, okay, so it was like a whole
I think
head.
it was their whole head and face.
Nice.
But they put it on these buff bodies that were like completely hairless and super buff. And they had the little bow tie and the arm cufflinks, like the little arm cuffs. And I have got to find that picture. That picture is epic. It's so good.
The only two completely hairless Iranian strippers.
That's a lot of nair.
You know what's funny?
They get their nair at Costco.
Speaking of VR, or not VR, speaking of that kind of green screen superimposed shit, I did one once.
Uh-huh.
And it might have been in Vegas. If
I'm
if
sure.
I'll be honest,
What
like
did you do?
Old Town Vegas. But they put my picture, like my face, on Rambo. Or not necessarily Rambo, but it's definitely a soldier with a machine gun. Like super
where is
buff.
it?
I have no
I
idea.
need to see this.
But this is what I do remember. I do remember that I did not want to do it.
How old were you?
I don't know, like 11, 12, something like that. I did not want to do this shit.
And your parents thought it was hilarious.
I don't know. My mom thought it was hilarious. I remember that I was like crying about it. Like, I don't want to do, like, this is stupid. So the picture is like this Rambo guy, but I'm all teary eyed.
I need to see this.
Like, I'm super sad that I'm mowing down this village. like the saddest.
I didn't choose this life.
I'm sorry, I'm burning your huts.
I won't be back.
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I know. Oh my god. I really need to see this. I'm going to ask your mom.
Sure. I mean, if you can find it, great. Like,
oh my god.
I'd post it in a heartbeat, but I literally have no idea where it could be.
I did one too. Mine is so lame.
What was yours? Were you like
I'm
little
embarrassed.
Bo Peep or something?
No.
Like that?
I was standing with the Backstreet Boys. Oh my god.
Like in the middle of them or like on the side?
It was like a white photo, and it was them all spaced out, like just standing there, and then they just put you there in like just with them. So I wasn't even standing close to them.
It was just like you're somebody
like,
off on the side.
No, I was in the middle.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're like in the middle of them.
And I remember when I did it, they matched my like face and the skin tone of the body, like everything matched really well, and like they sized it so it looked like really realistic, but not like me. Like that wasn't my body, you know? And I remember I showed my friend and I was like, doesn't this look realistic? She's like, you don't look like that. I was like, damn, burn. She was all slender and like curvy. She's like, no, you don't look like that. I was like, oh, okay. I just meant, doesn't it look real? I mean, I don't think I look like that.
It turned into this whole other shit.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
I meant, does it look like I'm standing there?
Yeah.
Does it look like I have bettered myself to your standards, Deborah?
I was like, damn, bird. Yeah, I have that. I got that somewhere in my storage too. And then, yeah, we would do those a lot. And then a lot of times we would just do them for fun and not pay for it too, which is kind of weird. I'm like, I don't think they would let us do that now.
I mean, they might have let you like stand there and like.
Maybe because we were going to buy one, they let us try a few out. But the best ones are my Nana. My Nana did them. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I don't know, she was probably in her 70s. And she has two of them. God, I wish somebody's got to find those too. Oh, I don't know who has that because, you know, my Nana, she passed away several years ago. So I don't know whose hands they're in now. But she did, I remember one of them was a construction worker with under boob and like she had a little white tank top with under boob
and like jean shorts
and little crop jean shorts, like the sluttiest construction worker outfit you could think of. No. And then her face. It was like
then your 70-year-old grandma.
7-year-old grandma's face. Oh, it was so good. And then there was another one, I want to say from memory, I could be wrong, but I swear it was like one where she was sitting in the pool with like a really 80s bathing suit, like that Borat, like a slingshot type. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like and there she is. And she loved those. She loved those pictures. Oh, that was good. We also have another one. Apparently our family, this is a big hit with our family.
You're like, time to go to Vegas and get our superimposed photo.
Let's not forget, like my family and Naz's family, we went to Vegas every year. It was our summer vacation trip. Right. We would go for a week. What the hell else are we going to do but stand there and pose for superimposed photos and laugh at ourselves? So we have another one, and it's like Jaws chewing up a boat, and the boat is you've seen that one. The boat is being tilted, and we put all of the kids in there. There was like 7 of us.
Damn.
Lined up.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. Oh, stupid. Jaws reference in the middle of a podcast. Some of y'all got it. All right. Continue.
Yeah, it was all of us. And then it was funny because like Naz's youngest brother, he didn't want to do it. He was like crying and he was like, I don't want to do this or whatever. But we made him, you know, everyone made him. Right. And he was the one closest to the Jaws in the front.
He looks like he's terrified.
No, he just looks so uninterested. He's like, he's got his hands up and the most blank stare on his face. And we're all doing the extra. We're like, like pretending. And he's just like,
this is fine.
He's like, I hate this so much. It's so funny. Oh, it's a good picture.
The only other thing like that I remember doing, we had it on tape.
Oh God.
That I don't know if we would still have the VHS, but it was a green screen skateboard thing.
Okay.
You know, so there was 2 skateboards just on the floor on this green screen. Mm-hmm. And Mark and I, we were basically standing on them, and they're like, okay, pretend like you're skateboarding, and you're just like wiggling like, whoa, look at me skateboarding.
And they put it over the video?
It's a video, and then you got to take it home. God knows how much my parents had to pay for that shit, but I do remember doing that. And you know, you're trying to pretend like you're pedaling or whatever the fuck it's called. And it was just so bad.
I want to see it. God, I want to see it. Man, if you guys have those pictures, please send them to us. Please DM them to us. We will repost them to our story. And I don't know. We'll do our best to try to find ours. I have no idea where we're going to find them, but
yeah, I would definitely ask my mom.
When we eventually come across them, I will definitely post them if we ever find them.
My mom probably doesn't even remember, or my dad. They're like, that was an insignificant day.
I feel like she would remember.
Or my dad's be like, you know how much I lost at the tables that day? I don't know about your fucking Rambo photo.
If our cheap ass parents were willing to pay for these things, they must have been good. Okay. Let me just tell you, my parents weren't paying for anything extra ever.
So funny.
It was a good time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But
memories.
All of that from the Chippendales documentary.
Yeah. All of that.
So funny. You know, we have been watching a lot of documentaries, and there's a lot of good stuff out there, and a lot of tough stuff out there too. Like you mentioned, you saw the Secrets of Playboy one. But before we get into the other documentaries, do you want to talk about that movie, the 2 movies that we saw this weekend that we really enjoyed?
I don't even remember.
Well, okay.
I'm like, yes, please tell me about them.
Sure. So,
remind me.
The first movie that we watched that I think a lot of people have seen it, you know, because it's been out for, you know, enough, and it's on Netflix, so you're pretty much guaranteed that a bunch of people are going to watch it.
Yes.
We watched Don't Look Up, which is the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill and Meryl Streep, and I mean a bunch of people in it.
Yeah.
Which is, what is it? It's a comet. Is it a comet or a meteor?
I thought it's an asteroid.
Or an asteroid. I don't know, but there's a rock coming to basically destroy Earth, and it's definitely a satire. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if anyone else watched it, or if you guys watched it, you know, definitely let us know what you thought. But we really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I liked it because as much as it was a satire, it actually was very sad and depressing because it's real. Like,
yeah,
not to me, this shit's real. Like, the way that everyone reacted to it, the way that they brushed it off, the way that money is always going to be in the forefront no matter what, you know, over saving the planet, like over saving our lives. It's just, that shit was real. And like literally at the end, I was like crying. I was like, we're doomed. We're so fucked.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting look at how people can just disavow something, even if it's something that's...
You mean disavow science?
Yeah. Just,
and math?
In general, I mean, because the whole thing
wild.
Is, you know, the astronomers, they see that this thing is going to hit. They're like, it's going to hit. We guarantee it.
Yeah.
And...
No, they were like 99 point something percent. And they were like, oh, 100%. Not 100. Yeah. Like they were like so hung up on that.
Yeah. I mean, and it's definitely like that. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is one of the people trying to warn everybody, and she kind of loses her shit on one of the talk shows, and they make her into a meme. Or, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio becomes like the hot astronomer doctor, and they start putting him on magazines.
All relatable.
But none of it ever leads to them doing anything, you know, to save humanity from this, you know, this, again, let's call it an asteroid that was going to hit the Earth. So it was very similar to a movie called Idiocracy, which I don't know if you've seen.
I have not seen. You told me that. Yeah.
But in that one, somebody from our time basically wakes up way in the future, and you know the world is like kind of falling to ruin because of basically idiots. You know,
capitalism.
What I mean? Yeah, but it was just basically like this: how stupid humans can be, and this is the results. You know, to the extreme. But in this one, it's the same. This is how like myopic or how stupid we all could be to be like, okay, well, how about we just don't look up? Like, you know, there's probably no asteroid that's going to hit. This is all fake news.
Yeah.
Just don't even look up in the sky.
Yep.
Which is where the name of the movie comes.
Yeah.
From you know, not looking up because you're trying to avoid or just, like I said, disavow, this thing that's really going to happen because it's inconvenient to you or your life.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good. I thought that everybody turned in really good performances. Jonah Hill was being Jonah Hill, which is always...
Jonah Hill's being Jonah Hill.
Yeah, it's always funny.
Yeah.
Has some really good burns in it.
Yeah. It's like, I know we're like worried about the people, but like, I really want to take a moment to say, I'm going to really miss the things or some shit like that.
I think we should really not give up on stuff because there's some really cool stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely watch that if you haven't. And if you have, let us know if you liked it because we really did.
Yeah. It's just sad. It makes me very sad. It's just too real. Ugh. We're so doomed.
Well,
anyways,
the other movie that we watched.
More uplifting topics.
Well, this is interesting. We watched a movie that was on Hulu, or that is on Hulu, and it's from Denmark.
Yeah.
It's called Riders of Justice. So if you come across it, it's going to look like it's this cheesy, explosive, like motorcycle movie.
Which
the
made
artwork
no
is
sense.
very misleading, but it's an incredibly refreshing take on like a revenge kind of movie, if you will. It's in no way close to a John Wick or something like that, but the storyline or kind of here's what I'll tell you. A woman is on a train and there's a train accident and she dies. Another guy that's on that same train happens to be a mathematician that works with statistics. And he comes up with this basically idea that because there was also a motorcycle gang informant on the same train, that this wasn't an accident. It was like basically murder, and this lady was just collateral damage. At the same time, her husband, who happens to be a very hardened soldier, comes back to take care of the daughter, who is now left without a mother. And him and the mathematician and his buddies get together and form this kind of revenge against a motorcycle gang for the death of his wife. But the whole thing is, again, it is Danish. You are going to have to read it. But it's laced with this like vibe of therapy among these four main male characters. And it's so interesting, and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah. It was a nice way to it's like for the tough guys who don't want to talk about their feelings, it's like put this movie on for them and then it'll really cut them deep. Like
yeah, and when I was watching it, Nadia had fallen asleep, and I was like, oh, I'll just fall asleep watching this movie. I mean, I have to read it anyway. I'll probably fall asleep. And you couldn't stop. I couldn't stop watching it because it's not only, there's violence in it, so in like action, so that gets you, and there's actually some really good laughs in it too. But just I was watching the whole kind of therapy thing break, kind of creep up into the story, because you've got these four characters who are essentially all very emotionally damaged. I don't want to give anything away, but like, let's just say the soldier itself has like extreme PTSD.
Yeah, they all have trauma.
And they all kind of...
They're all men.
They're all men, and they all somehow work on each other's nerves to the point where they have mini breakthroughs. Yeah. Yeah. It's very smart. It's such a smart movie.
It's a smart movie. Yeah.
And I read this thing that said that the movie effectively functions as a heart-wrenching drama, laugh out loud, funny comedy, and brutal actioner at all at the same time. And it's really well crafted. If you guys get a chance to watch it, stars Mads Mikkelsen, who I think the majority of people would know from Casino Royale, which was the Bond movie.
He looks very different in that movie.
Yeah, he was the bad guy whose eye was crying blood.
Yeah, he's hotter in this movie.
Yeah, he was also in
he has a beard.
In a Star Wars movie, for any of my fellow nerds. happen to know Rogue One.
Anyone out there?
He was in Rogue One.
I'm like, ladies, he looks good. He's got a beard. Watch it.
But yeah, definitely look. We definitely.
It's a really good movie. Yeah, it's at the end. I was just like, damn. Because I had fallen asleep, and then you were like, I want you to watch this with me, and then we watched it again because you were raving about it, and then I was like, damn, I get it. Like, this is a really good movie, and it feels unique. It feels like a different movie that I haven't seen, a different storyline, a different approach. The acting was excellent. It was just an all-around really good movie. So if you can get past the subtitles, I know some people don't like to watch foreign films, which is a damn shame because there are so many excellent foreign films. And I just feel like watching foreign films, I mean, besides the obvious of expanding your knowledge and your horizons of what else is out there in other cultures, it's just also, they always have different perspectives and takes on how to make these movies and how to present these movies, just different storylines that you wouldn't always see here. You know, it's just, I like foreign films a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's different sensibilities to every country's cinema.
Right, exactly.
And I think it behooves, anyone. Look at me, I'm already expanding my vocabulary. It behooves you.
Let me Google behooves.
They're going to be a bunch of honeybees with horse feet.
Behove.
But it is obviously, I feel like, as someone who really loves movies, it benefits you as a watcher, as an enjoyer of film, to just watch things from like you said, different countries, different perspectives. A lot of them will have different like camera techniques and stuff that you've never seen before.
Right, exactly.
Or this and that. And that's always like really cool. Like I watched a Korean show called Hellbound, which I don't necessarily recommend. It wasn't that great, but some of the camera shots in it were just amazing. And also, if you like action movies, watch like movies from countries that that the stuntmen don't have unions.
Like Russia,
stuff like Singapore and stuff like that. Where
damn,
it's just like
it's real.
The less that people kind of care about their stuntmen, the better the action movies. Movies like The Raid and stuff like that, like the Ong Bak stuff that came out of like Thailand and stuff. Like these people are just getting slammed, and it makes the action so much more believable.
It's terrible. So, what was the name of that movie again?
That movie's called Riders of Justice.
Riders of Justice. Yeah,
amazing movie. Really,
really good. Yeah. So then we also ended up watching. God, we have so many things to talk about. We also watched the. Do we want to go down the dark road with the Cosby doc, or do we want to get into Pam and Tommy? Where do you want to go right now?
Let's do Janet first.
Okay, let's do Janet. Loved it so much. This is a mini documentary, mini series, documentary, mini doc, whatever the hell you call them, these things these days.
It was like a 2-night event, 4 episodes.
Yes.
Presented in 2 different nights.
But the good thing about this one is that it's coming straight from Janet. She's always been a very private person. There's always been, since the very beginning, all these allegations and rumors about her and her life, like whether or not she's fathered, whether or not she's had she's had a baby and in secret and hid the baby with her first was she married to him? James. Yeah, her first marriage, and just a lot of things that no one ever talks about. And of course her family, obviously the Jacksons, a lot has happened with them, and again, no one knows the truth. So she was like, I'm going to come out of the gate and show you guys everything. I'm going to pull up never before seen footage, like family home videos that Renee, her ex-husband, filmed, like this man always had a camera on him, filmed every little intimate thing. and she just displays it. But in such it didn't feel like it was exploited. It just was done really, really, really well. And it's just a very intimate look at her and her family's life and what she went through. And I just loved it. And if you're a Janet fan, I just feel like it's a must watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I enjoyed it. And so did a lot of people. This was on Lifetime or A&E, or they're the same thing.
Right.
I don't know, but I know that it averaged about 3 million total views for that first night, which is like the best ratings for like a non-fiction viewership or whatever on cable since that Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance. So it's really good, but I am going to disagree with you a little bit on the fact that she didn't really give any information. Like, here's the thing. The documentary's great. Janet Jackson's great. She's got incredible amount of work, like music and stuff, to acting, all that kind of stuff for her to be praised. And it doesn't feel like it's a documentary about how great she is either.
Right.
I mean? Even though people do talk about it in the documentary, but there's stuff that you think they're going to get into.
Like what?
And then they take a left. Like anything having to do with the Jackson family. See, this documentary was produced by Randy Jackson.
Right.
By her brother.
Right.
And her. And I feel
it's more about her.
Yeah, but it's kind of just...
What did you want to know?
No, that's fine. But it's fine if it's all 100% Janet. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
But because they mention stuff about the family, but then they just kind of lightly touch it and never go there, it seems like there was a very strict set of guidelines. Like, hey, if we're going to talk about Papa Joe, you can't say that he was like abusive or whatever.
They painted him in a very good light.
He was like a disciplinarian. It's like, was he though? Like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Anything to do with Michael was all just kind of lightly grazed, and that's fine. I didn't come into this to watch this as like a smear campaign on the Jacksons. That's not what I thought I was going to get.
Right.
But it was kind of weird. I was like, okay, there's definitely like a set of rules to this.
Of course.
Of
course. They're not going to give you everything. Like, they're not going to give you everything. Like, the fact that she's a private person and he's even doing that is the reason why so many people tuned in, was because it was just like, yo, Janet's making her own, documentary about her life. Like, she's going to be sharing a lot of stuff. She's private. She doesn't normally do that. So it was much anticipated. But I don't know. I got out of it what I wanted to see and hear. I get what you're saying, but again, it was about her, this wasn't the Jackson family documentary.
Right, absolutely.
This was a Janet Jackson, and she did brush over those things. And listen, if that's her prerogative, if she wants to paint her father, whom she loved dearly, regardless of how he handled any situation, it was still her father, and that she wanted to leave in a good light. Like, that's her prerogative. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't want to sit there and drag her father.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that she should have. I was just saying that you were saying there's like, they went there and they no, they didn't. They went there, lightly touched on shit. But.
Right. They went there with her relationships, really. She went into detail about her relationships and what she dealt with and why, she left each relationship, and that there was no baby, which was speculated. And so she kind of closed that door. And, I didn't know, probably because I just didn't research into it. I probably could have found out, but I didn't know about all the drug use from all of her exes. You know what I mean? I didn't know that was an issue for her and for them, and why that ultimately made her leave, and stuff like that. It was more details about her relationships, I think. And I'm trying to remember what else. I feel like there was something else, but all in all, I'll probably end up watching it again anyways.
Yeah. And we again, we don't have it, like, we don't have Lifetime or A&E or anything, because we watch everything on apps. But we found out that if you download the Lifetime app on like your Fire Stick, you can watch it without signing in or anything like that. So
just lets you watch it.
That's a quick we everywhere baby hack. You can watch it for free.
Yeah. I just, I really enjoyed the footage.
I will say that
the footage was just so good. You know, it was just intimate home videos and stuff like that. I don't know. It was just a deeper look into her and her life, and
and there's like good like studio footage and stuff like that. Like
with her and Terry and Jimmy Jam, and they're kind of like
they're butting heads a bit. Stuff. Like
it was good.
So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely recommend you guys check that out if you haven't already. And then another documentary. We did a lot of documentaries. The Cosby doc. Do I even have the energy to go there with that one?
I mean,
that one was just.
Let's just say this: W. Kamau Bell, who is a stand-up comedian, he's had a couple shows and stuff like that. He made this documentary, and what's it called? We Need to Talk About Bill Cosby or something like that. I think it's just called We Need to Talk About Cosby, but it basically outlines, not only his career, but also his, I don't know, evil deeds.
You mean the rapes? Yeah, that.
It was crazy. It's I don't even know how many episodes it was. I think it might have been 4 or maybe more than that. I don't know.
Something like that.
But it's some real shit. And
it's hard to watch, it's when you grow up, the Cosby Show, for so many of us, I mean, the younger generation, they probably don't know much about that. It doesn't hit home for them. And they're just like, yeah, he's a rapist. Like, it doesn't have the same weight that it did for us growing up. Like, my dad and I, that was our show. Like, I used to call that show Papa Rudy because I was so little, and he'd be like, want to watch Papa Rudy? And because I don't know, it was a family show, and it had good lessons, and it just was one of the first shows to really show a black family in that light too. So it was an important show, and we kind of put him on this pedestal of like, we thought that he was like Dr. Huxtable. You know what I mean? And he could not be any further.
Yeah. And the documentary does explain how that actually happened, how he positioned himself, kind of navigating through the racism of the 60s when he was coming up. And then he got kind of interestingly militant right after that, and then he started doing child programming. I'm older than you, but I remember that he had I thought it was his whole show. It turns out it was a segment on another show that I guess then got syndicated as its own thing, but it was called Picture Pages. And it was basically, it was like, I feel like that was my block of television back in the day. It was like Sesame Street, Reading Rainbow, Picture Pages, I don't know, maybe Fraggle Rock or something like that. All that like public television shit.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, all of that.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, definitely. But Picture Pages was one where he was just basically teaching you, shit that you would learn in school, with like a workbook style activities. Like, match the cow to
So it was interactive.
It was like that, but he had a pen, and the pen would make noise whenever he would draw with it.
Right.
It was like, I think the pen was called Mortimer. Had a little like monster on it or something.
Okay.
And it would be like, and I was like, oh, I gotta have that fucking pen. I wanted that pen so bad. So when you see documentaries like this about, people who are doing like incredibly horrific and evil things, it really is harder to swallow depending on your perspective of a person, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you were talking about all the stuff from the Hugh Hefner documentary. It's like, oh, that he refused to wear condoms, and that he would like have them.
You were like, yeah, of course.
Like, yeah, this is how this guy presented himself.
Yeah.
It's just that then he got on
somewhat.
Then he got on television.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, he's just like a funny little old man, Yeah. It's like, nah, like this dude was a pimp.
Yeah.
Like straight up. So, but Bill Cosby, you're like, oh, this guy's selling me Jello and fucking Coke and Kodak film.
He could not have been more opposite.
All this shit in all of this time.
Yeah.
And this isn't like it's a new thing. It is, they were bringing out or showing allegations from the 60s.
Yep.
You know, and it's been just a trail of devastation and like heartbreak and then not only that, but like trauma for all of these women that he, you know, drugged and raped. I mean, there's really no other way to say it, you know?
Well, and it also sends the message of like, when there are predators out there, especially in the public eye, public figures who get away with it for so many years, what kind of message does that send to the public? What kind of message does that send to women? What kind of message are we sending to that? If this happens to you, you can't speak out because no one's going to believe you. You know what I mean? It's just, it was just an all around really terrible situation. And he was a monster. Like that was the hard part, was that you create this like persona in your mind of who you think this person is, and you look up to them or you admire them or whatever. And then they turn out to be a monster. It's like, it's just another realization of like, yeah, we don't know anyone. We don't know these people, like celebrities and public figures. Like we don't know any of these people. Like we got to stop putting people on pedestals because they're human, just like the rest of us. And a lot of them do a lot of bad shit because they have power. And it's just like, he was a real piece of shit. Like not only just because obviously of the multiple rapes that he had done throughout. I mean, I don't even know the span of how many years he did them, but like he would
50 years.
Yeah. And then he would like make the women feel, I mean, obviously he was drugging them too on top of that, drugging them, raping them. Then when they would come out of it, they'd be like, what happened or whatever. And he'd be like, get the fuck out of here. And like, figure out how to get out of here. Call your own car. Like just on top of that, you know what I mean? And then he was on a power trip with other people, and you know, he had this like thing that he would say, oh, fooled him again. And it's just like, oh, it's just so creepy. It's just, it was rough.
Yeah. It
was a rough one to watch.
It's on Showtime, and I think that Showtime is putting it out week by week, but we watched it on Hulu and we just watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where you can definitely find it if it's something you're so inclined to want to watch.
Yeah, it's a heavy documentary. So if you, yeah, exactly. Omar said, if you're inclined to watch it, you know, it is still really a good, I guess, if you want to say good documentary. Terrible story. But what else did we watch? Oh, Pam and Tommy. Obviously, we didn't even get to that. Let's just run through that quickly because it just came out yesterday and I don't want to spoil anything. I mean, it's not a story that nobody doesn't, you know, we know about the story, but the show, they dropped 3 or 4 episodes.
Well, we watched 4 episodes.
4 episodes. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was really good. I don't know. What did you think about it?
You know, it was not what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, okay.
And I was pleasantly surprised with it.
What did you think it was going to be?
I thought, to be honest, I thought it was going to be like melodramatic or like just a little like
corny.
Yeah, but corny in a way that you were like, they were trying to make this much more like a story, like a, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. Like it was going to be a heavier kind of victimization of everything that happened or whatever. But from right off the bat, it's got a lot of humor in it. It's got
casted really well.
Yeah. Yeah. Sebastian Stan as Tommy Lee he's killing it.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Lily James as Pamela Anderson is also killing it. And here's the thing. I was writing notes while we were watching. I was like, Pam and Tommy, great portrayals. But it starts off with the fact that, okay, the guy that found or took the tape from their house was a contractor. And right off the bat, the first episode is Tommy Lee.
He was the carpenter.
Right.
We want to get technical.
Okay, so he was a carpenter. But it starts off with they're doing renovations to Tommy Lee's house, and he is being the biggest asshole that you could ever see, which I find is probably very accurate. Like I never held that guy into any high regard.
Right.
Like I'm not trying to give any hot takes here, but Motley Crue fucking suck. But like, you know what I mean? So first off, lesson number 1 from the first episode: don't be shitty to the laborers that come to your house.
Yep.
But like I said, it had some like really interesting humor. There's also a lot of nudity in it that I was not expecting. And
what? It was about their sex tape.
Yeah, but I didn't know, like it was coming out on Hulu, and somehow in my mind I wasn't like,
you're like, Hulu's cleaner,
like they're like it's gonna be cleaner.
Really?
Yeah. For some reason I put it to like the level of like a basic cable kind of a deal.
Interesting.
Like, oh, this is gonna be like, you know, like some TBS TNT kind of shit.
Oh no, they go there.
No, they totally go there.
Lots of penis.
There is a lot of wiener in this documentary.
The wiener actually has a role. He speaks. The wiener speaks.
So Lily James has, because we looked this up. Lily James.
Oh yeah, we were like, were her tits really that big? We Googled it.
We're like, those aren't Lily James's tits.
We're like, are those her real tits?
No, it's just one of those things because she really looks like Pam. Like they did a really good job. And I was like, man, I know Lily James. I've seen this movie called like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies or something like that. And she's done some other stuff that I'm kind of like, wow, this doesn't look like that actress at all. So we started looking up into what the prosthetics were. And then all of a sudden she's topless on TV. And we're like, something's not right. So it turns out that they did an entire like set of prosthetic boobs. And so anytime you're seeing quote unquote Pam's boobs, it's, you know, this prosthetic. But then we're like, all right. And I remember you were like, well, are they going to show his wiener or what? And then right away, like, he just pops it out. And you're just like, oh my God.
He's known for that.
And he does have a conversation with it. And it does talk back.
Yep.
And the funny thing is that his dick is voiced by Jason Mantzoukas.
You looked it up.
Yeah, I looked. I was like, I know this voice. Why do I know?
Wait, why do I know that name?
Jason Mantzoukas was El Cuñado on the
that's
League.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What a flex for him. He's like, I played Tommy Lee's dick in Pam and Tommy.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot.
And like I said, we haven't finished it. It just started, so we're 4 episodes in. Who knows how many there are? I didn't look that up. But I mean, we're gonna have to wait another week, I'm assuming, to watch it.
They're presenting the storyline in a really interesting way. Like you said, how they started it off with how he's rude to the construction or the contractor and all the workers. And so you're seeing like why he stole it, why he did what he did, and it's just and then you kind of start getting into all the same time while they're trying to figure out how, because this is in the beginning of what was it, 96 or something, 95. Like 95. The beginning of the internet, right? And so before they would have to shop around with distributors, right? Vivid and all these porno distributors to release tapes. And they were making a shit ton of money, the porn industry. But then the internet came, and the internet, as we know now, destroyed the porn industry because people could get stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it did. They're not making the money they were making before. It's very different.
That's very true.
It was way more accessible. Anyone could put it up. It was free. There was just a lot of things that changed it, where before you had to go buy these tapes. So anyway, the internet's coming up, and they're kind of starting to figure out, oh, well, maybe we can use the internet to distribute it. So while they're showing that part of the story, or the characters are trying to figure out how to release this sex tape without it coming back to them and them getting in trouble, they're showing Pamela trying to make her career blossom. And she takes a meeting with, I think she was like an agent or something. And she kind of asks her, like, where do you want your career to go? And she's like inspired by Jane Fonda. And she's sharing the story about how she wants to be like Jane Fonda and where she wants to take her career. And it's like, I mean, no offense to Pam. She's not like the greatest actress, like we seen her acting on Baywatch and Barbed Wire, but like her dreams of becoming this meaningful actress basically get shattered by this sex tape, because then no one takes her serious after that, even further than Barbed Wire and Baywatch. You know what I mean? And she's already getting tired of doing that and seeing like they're cutting out her monologues and shit like that, and they're just zooming in on her ass, and she wants to be taken more serious as a more serious actress. And it's just an interesting parallel how they're presenting it in that way, because shit's about to hit the fan and there goes her dreams, so that's kind of where the fourth episode is left with.
Yeah, and I mean it's really interesting, because I remember when that was like making the rounds, if you will. I mean, I'm not saying that I watched it like hot off the press and shit, because I sure as hell didn't pay for it. And I know that when they first got online, it was to sell it, so you had to buy it,
right?
But then, I mean, now you can probably Google
now you can find it.
You know what I mean? But
they got clips of it.
But I do remember watching it.
YouPorn, probably.
I remember watching it to the point where when they're doing recreations on the show, I'm like, yo, that really happened on the tape.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He's about to drive the boat with his dick. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa. And it is interesting to see all the stuff that she was striving for, right before this thing is about to hit.
Yeah, it's so sad.
So it definitely did. Even after 4 episodes, it left us at a cliffhanger of like, this shit is about to come out. Their world is about to be turned upside down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What is Tommy Lee going to do? How come all of his friends look like they're in Crazy Town?
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know what the hell they're casting. His like buddies. I know this has nothing to do with.
We need to Google his friends at the time. Did they really look like that?
I think so. I know that he had a second band called Methods of Mayhem.
Oh, okay.
And all of those guys look like the guys that are hanging out. But one guy's blonde and the other guy's like braids or dreads or some shit. And it's just like, literally looks like he's walking around with Crazy Town. Like they're like behind him,
Crazy Town the band, by the way. Like, not just like they look like they're from Crazy Town.
Come, my lady. Come, my lady. They're just like,
you my butterfly, sugar, baby. Fun fact, one of my exes dedicated that song to me.
Oh my God. At like a bar or what?
He just was like, this song makes me think of you. I was like, okay.
It was like a Casey Kasem.
I don't know where we were, but I'm just saying, okay, we don't need to get the details of that. But
no choreographed dance?
No.
He didn't really mean
it. I also had no idea that how they met and got married that quickly. Like, I didn't know that whole storyline. So that was really interesting. I was like, they're insane. Like, I already knew that they were wild and crazy, but like insane.
Yeah.
Insane how all that went down. He like took the ring off of his friend's finger and like, it was just like, what? This really happened? These people are crazy.
Yeah. And he's just like, hey, I love you. Here, let's do drugs and just be fucking be happy.
It's a total rock star story,
bro. Oh my god.
But check it out, guys. It's on Hulu. It's done really well. Casting, acting, all of it's done. Is really, really good, and we definitely recommend it. And other than that, I think I finally caught up to Euphoria. But I don't really have much to say about that. We could talk about that next week.
All right. Well, maybe we should just go ahead and call that. We
definitely need to call that.
Beefy show.
beefy. We had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and definitely there are a lot of shows that are coming up that we're interested in. I don't know if you guys remember, but a while back we talked about a science fiction show, Nadia's favorite, called Raised by Wolves, which was on HBO. Yeah. That's coming back.
One of the only that I liked.
Yeah, so that'll be back on the 3rd. And then our other arch nemesis, Love is Blind. Love is Blind 2 will be coming up, so we'll be talking about that soon. And then also the new Fresh Prince remake that's just called Bel Air. That should be coming up. I know some people that have seen, I think, like the first episode or something, like a couple of industry people, and they're saying it's like a drama.
Yeah.
Like it's not funny anymore, and not that that's what they're going for.
Okay.
But it's like a different telling of it.
Interesting.
It's like in this one, I think the Will Smith character, like, he shoots somebody or something in Philadelphia, and that's why he has to go to Bel Air or whatever. But
interesting. Okay.
Those things are coming up. So
darker, more real life version.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have
also
last a watch party on that.
Last thing, guys, Omar and I are finally gonna take a little trip. We are going to New York in a couple of weeks. We've both been to New York a few times, but haven't been in a while. And we would love if you guys have any amazing food suggestions and or anything, any places or things to do or see.
Yeah. You know when you get somewhere and you're like, what is there to do here? Every time I land in a new city, I'm like, what can I do?
What can I do? Yeah, send them our way. Because it'd be cool if we can check some of those things out. And we're really excited to finally take a trip.
Yeah.
It'll be good. But it's a work trip, but we're going to turn it into a fun trip.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk more about it next week. So, start thinking about that now.
Here's your homework.
we need recommendations.
Homework number 1: find your face. What is it? The pictures.
Find your superimposed.
Find your superimposed photos from Vegas and send them to us. And let us know of any cool places to do in New York.
All right, so that's going to be it for us this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I'm your host, Omar, OMRVLZ on the IGs. NadiaMohamOfficial.
And we have our baby podcast. Thank you. Bye.
We everywhere, baby.